People, what is going on? My name is Patrick, and today we're going to be checking out the Kingbull Discover ST 2.0. So we're going to be going through the unboxing, assembly, first ride, and then the speed test. Let's get started. Folks, and here we have the Kingbull Discover 2.0 as it arrived from FedEx. Shipping, no problems on that, by the way. Box looks like it's in great shape. And the shipping weight on this, 105 pounds. And just like that, we have cut the packing straps and freed the gigantic staples holding this box together. And we give you the flyover at the top of the box. Give us an idea of how well Kingbull packages up their product. Looks like they do a pretty decent job, doesn't it? Yeah, baby. There's a little frontal package in action, if you will. Okay, so in front of you, we have everything unpackaged and out of the box, as it were. So let's go over everything, and then we'll start assembly. So we have our bike itself, complete with our two 26-inch by 4-inch fat tires, rear rack, and then right here, we have our plastic fenders, one there, one up there. Need to install both. Okay, now coming down here, we have our axle, and then we have an assembly guide, quick assembly guide, user manual, and then a manual on our LCD screen. We have two mirrors that Kingbull gives you. Pretty cool. We have some zip ties. We have a pump that Kingbull gives you. A branded Kingbull tool roll. We have some bungee cords for like the cargo area. We have a class 2 and a class 3 sticker, metal pedals, not plastic, a combination lock, chain lock, and our charger. Alright, so let's get going on the installation / assembly. Okay, people, now that we have our Kingbull unpacked, our first assembly step, we're just going to go ahead and screw in this rear fender. It's already screwed in up here, or already connected up here. So now we're going to simply take these brackets, there's one on each side, and we're going to connect it here. We're going to take this bolt out on each side with provided hex wrench here from the toolkit. And then we're going to attach that back in like so. And there's what it's going to look like once you have it on there. Once you take the bolt out and put it back in. Alright, we have our rear rack attached. That's what it's going to look like with our bolts going through. And up here as well. And again, that's going to be on both sides. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our light that is wired and we're going to attach it to the back. Basically, again, we're just going to take that nut out, put it on, and then put that nut on. Alright, there's the back part of our taillight. So now that we have our taillight assembled, or installed rather, we are going to take this loose cordage from the taillight and we're going to zip tie it, you guessed it, to our rack here. Cord management, if you will. Alright, so essentially just use 3 zip ties and I put the cord, majority of it, right behind some tubing here on the rear rack. So it's invisible. Now I'll just go ahead and trim these off and we'll be all set. Okay folks, after loosening these 2 bolts up here on the stem, then you can swivel it. So we're going to turn that all the way around like this. Then we're going to put our handlebars on in here, right here, and then reconnect those 4 bolts with the faceplate. I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so we have our stem adjusted and our handlebars attached. Here's a look at our bracket. Took that off, put the bolts back on, tighten it down. Okay, so for the headlight and fender assembly, it needs to be done together. If you don't want to have the fender on, fine. They're nice plastic fenders, though. Shouldn't make a lot of noise. The headlight and the fender are going to share the same bolt, which is already there. Just go ahead and take it off and run it back through. And you're going to need to use a wrench, which is included, and a hex wrench to tighten that down together. These 2 puppies, that's what I'm talking about. Included. So put one in here, hold that one, tighten it. And then we have our brackets for our fender which we're going to have right there. We're going to take out that bolt with washer, put the fender on, and then put it right back through to attach the fender on each side. Folks, we got that big old 26-inch by 4 tire on. I tell you what we did is we put took the fork, placed it right over the wheel, and then we went down with the fork over the wheel, making sure to line up the caliper into our rotor right there. We took our axle right here, and we had a total of 4 pieces to go on the axle, with a nut on the end, and then we had those 3 other pieces right in there. So make sure to pay attention to the diagram, and that's going to help you out discern how to put that axle on with those bolts and spacers in the right places. After that, we just went ahead and we took a included Allen wrench and we tightened that down with the help of a wrench as well. Last 2 steps we have are we're going to go ahead and put on these pedals. I tell you what, so these pedals are going to be labeled left and right, as you can see right there. But not only that, they're also showing you what direction to turn the pedal as you're putting it on. That's important. Pedals, put them on the right way. Okay, when you're finishing up the pedals, go ahead and use one of the included wrenches to just make sure to tighten these puppies down. There we go. Last step today for the Kingbull is going to be we're going to just drop in this seat post. So to do that, let's go over to our seat here. We're going to take like this little flange deal, this little tightener, whatever you want to call it, this little tool of assembly, and we're just going to go ahead, let's first drop in our seat post. We'll bring our seat up to our desired height, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to tighten this bolt up, and then we're going to go ahead and close that securely around the post like that. Now when you close it, it should be super tight to where it's going to like almost leave like an imprint. It probably should leave an imprint on your palm. You get that nice and tight, that seat's not going to fall down on you while you're riding. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, but I kind of got that imprint on my hand from closing that down, tightening it up, and then really got to squeeze it down. That's how you know you got it on there right. I think one of the last things we're going to do here for our assembly is we're going to take some of those extra zip ties and tighten these wires up. Take care of some of that cord management, if you will. The Kingbull is all put together. Let's go ahead and bring the old Kingbull out into the yard and go over the specs and details, shall we? Okay, let's go over the components of the Kingbull Discover ST 2.0, shall we? So we have Shimano components for the derailleur and the cassette here. Metal pedals. We have a nice double guard right there for the chain. We do have a derailleur guard as well that came with it. We didn't put it on, but it would go right here on this bolt. We have a nice cargo rack, so you hear down by multiple points. Typical drop-in seat. We have our battery nicely integrated. Plastic fenders. We have our 26-inch by 4-inch CST BFT tires. And then we have our front shock, which is lockable. We can lock it out and then also change a little bit on there as well. For a nice big front headlight, have to take the wrapper off of that. Mounting bracket, put like a basket. In the cockpit here, we have a backlit display right there, or we have backlit buttons to turn on our LCD display. Headlight button and a horn. Here's the horn. Nice loud horn. And then to round it all out, we have some Zoom hydraulic brakes. Alright, I think for my purposes only, I'm going to do throttle only. I'm going to put it up to pedal assist 5. Take it around for a few laps. Here we go. Nice acceleration as always with these Kingbull bikes. You know, it feels like I have a little bit more control with having the bigger tires. The brakes are nice and smooth. Not too much squeak or anything to them. That's awesome. Just went over a decent size little log there. Be like 2 inches in diameter or so. Wheels handled it no problem. Yep, just hit that with the back tire. Felt pretty good, really. Going over some walnuts, no problems. Oh, little slip there. As soon as I say that. All right. Let's go ahead and go around one more time. We'll adjust this camera up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I definitely get like these tires are gripping in pretty good, biting in decent. Yeah, I'm kind of a bigger fan of like the bigger tires, the 26-inch tires versus the 20-inch. Just feels like a more stable ride to me, really. Again, the acceleration is nice and smooth, very on demand. Seems like another great Kingbull product. Let's try stopping right here. That was a nice stop, I tell you what. All right, let's get Jenny out on the road and do a road test. Road test.
It is time to go ahead and take the Kingbull Discover 2.0 ST out for a little spin. So we're gonna go ahead and just test out all of those features, the pedal assist, the throttle, all those good things. So far though, my first, 1 minute on this bike, it's really smooth. So let's go right on through those pedal assist settings. So we're gonna start out pedaling. We're on 0. This is just human powered pedaling and it feels nice. All right, let's go ahead and kick that on up to 1, pedal assist 1. You feel that little power? Feels nice. Looks like we're rocking about 12 miles an hour on pedal assist 1. 12.2. Again, you feel a little bit of power, not a ton, but a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and kick it up, pedal assist 2. Woo! You do feel that power kick in with pedal assist 2. That's nice. So it looks like we are rocking about 15 miles an hour or so. Pedal assist 3. Oh yeah, I feel that power already. Pedal assist 3 got us, rocketed us right up to 19.5 miles an hour. Pedal assist 4. We're gonna go ahead and 20.1, just a scotch over 20. So pedal assist 4, we're right around that 20 mile an hour mark. Let's go ahead and do pedal assist 5 and see what we can top out at. Again, with pedaling, you are gonna top out at that 20 mile an hour point. Now, let's go ahead and try the throttle. Here we go, full throttle. No pedaling at all, throttling only. Let's go ahead and try that throttle again. So full throttle, no pedaling, 20 miles an hour. I can kind of feel the power be cut to it. The Discover 2.0 ST is shipped to you as a default Class 2 e-bike. Regardless of how hard you pedal, what gear you're in, or throttle, you're only gonna get this up to that 20 mile an hour speed. Unfortunately, you do have to purchase a speed control to go ahead and switch out that little box inside. I'll link a video here. It's actually really simple to do, only takes just a few minutes. And then you should be able to get this bike on up to that 28 mile an hour speed. Even if you go into the P settings and change them to that 28 mile an hour, you're still gonna need the actual unit installed in your bike to get it on up to that speed. So overall, this bike is incredibly comfortable. The seat, I was concerned about it, but it hasn't given any issues. If anything, it's pretty comfortable. It is on the slimmer side, but that's okay. I do love the Shimano 7-speed on here because you can kind of fly through the gears here. No problem at all. Hydraulic brakes seem to work really well, come into a stop and whatnot. This e-bike has been a ton of fun to ride. If you'd like to check out more details, check that link down in the description or comments to check out all of the details, specifications, and of course to pick yourself up one as well. Thank you again for joining us today, and until we see you again, keep your nose clean. Bye!